So, I've got this friend who's got a very large, roughly 8 or 9-year-old family dog. The dog is extraordinarily good-natured. The kids roughhouse with the dog, play with it, wrestle with it. Some of the younger kids, a couple of the younger kids even sit on the dog and ride it around. And it's just extraordinarily good-natured, and the dog seems to just enjoy being with the kids and being roughhoused, with one exception. Something happened to that dog somewhere along the line because it does not like having its tail messed with. Now anytime anybody comes near that dog's tail or touches it or tries to pull it, that dog's character will turn on a dime, and it will turn, growl, and snap at whoever it thinks is going to be messing with its tail. It doesn't matter who does it, okay, the reaction is the same, and it's every time anybody goes near the dog's tail, it will snarl and snap. It has never bitten anyone. I don't think its intention is to do that, but the reaction of that dog is 100%. Anytime anybody or it feels threatened around its tail, it's going to get the same reaction. So here's a question, which is actually the point of this video. And the question is this: if I pull that dog's tail, who's in charge of the dog's reaction? Me or the dog? If you said the dog, you'd be exactly wrong, and here's why. At age 8 or 9, that dog's reaction is now embedded in its character, and it does not have control of how it reacts. So what's the point, and why do I tell this story? Well, I bring this up because, in point of fact, as human beings, we're no different than that dog. In our flesh, or what the Bible calls our sin nature, we are conditioned and become conditioned to react to things that we really should be responding to and rarely, if ever, do. So I want to talk a little bit about how to gain control of our life. The point is, if I know what's going to trigger you, all I have to do is press the right buttons. And if I press the right buttons and you react as I anticipate you will, guess who's got control of your life? Not you, I do. And so I want to talk a little bit about self-control and about the difference between reacting and responding. I think what we see around us in our society is a breakdown of self-control and good manners and so forth. And what that means is we're really giving up control of our life to whoever pushes the right buttons. And once they learn how to push those buttons, they can trigger us. I don't believe that God wants us to live that way. In the Beatitudes, God lists and Jesus lists a number of attitudes that we can choose to respond from. Might be blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are the meek, blessed are the merciful, blessed are the pure in heart. There's about 8 of them. I used to think these were character traits, but they're not. They're actually choices. When the circumstances of life come at us, we can choose an attitude, act from that attitude, and then trust God with the ultimate results. I think it's common in Christian circles to believe that Jesus wants us to consistently turn the other cheek. I think that's true to a large extent, but it's not universally true. I don't believe Jesus wants us to be doormats, rolling over and letting people step on us. Rather, the reason he's saying, if somebody slaps you on the right cheek, turn the other cheek, I think what he's really getting at is don't be triggered. Don't react to something you should be responding to. He gives us a list in the Beatitudes so that when the circumstances of life come at us, or things that would normally trigger us from people pushing our buttons or events pushing our buttons, we can actually step back, choose how we perceive what's happening to us, and then choose a proper attitude from which to respond and turn the consequences and the results over to God. Once we start doing this and getting in the habit of restraining ourselves until we can choose a proper attitude, life becomes much more simpler and much more peaceful. And above all, we're free because we're not giving control of our life and our reactions to the circumstances of life or to other people. So I hope this is useful, and thanks for watching.